Welcome to the Hashimoto's Doctor Podcast. You're now part of a growing community of people determined to take their health back through education and self-empowerment. But because of the healthcare system today, we don't have access to the types of healthcare that we want. So we have to do things differently. We've got to do things smarter, and we do that by becoming our own advocates. This podcast will give you the perspective and thoughts of one of the world's leading Hashimoto's doctors. So let's get started. Hey guys, Dr. Shook here. I hope you're doing well today. In today's podcast, what I want to talk to you guys about are really the nutritional supplements that you may want to consider if you're dealing with Hashimoto's, if you have autoimmunity, and really if you're just trying to improve and optimize your health. But I'm going to be a little bit more specific about Hashimoto's because that's what most people seek me out to help them with. And it's also something that there are some specific things that do tend to help and assist people with recovery when they have Hashimoto's. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do when you're considering nutritional supplementation from a supplement, vitamin, nutraceutical perspective is that you first utilize something to, what I like to say is fill in the nutrient potholes. So when you're thinking about your biochemistry and all these processes that happen in the body, there are a lot of vitamins and minerals that are required as cofactors, meaning they're required for a chemical process to occur. Okay? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to fill in the nutrient potholes. And what that means is you want to take a very good, and there are very few of these that I found, I'll tell you the one that I like, but a very good multivitamin that helps to fill in and give you the majority of what you're going to need to support your biochemistry. And the trick really becomes, and the thing that's most difficult about that is finding a multivitamin that is, that's tested for impurities and tested for the not only impurities but contaminants, and on top of that, getting one that is free of a lot of the common excipients or additives, and one that quite frankly does not have a lot of immune system stimulating compounds within it. Okay, so the one that I like the most is a supplement. It's a multivitamin by Designs for Health. It's called the Complete Multi, and I think it's a great multivitamin. I've used it extensively. Now, some people that have Hashimoto's, they have questions about it because they see that it has 200 micrograms of iodine, and I agree. If you know that you have a really a significant sensitivity to iodine, then I would not utilize that particular multivitamin. I use one that's by Claire Laboratories, that's iodine free. But I find that most people do great with that particular multivitamin because, for one thing, we know that iodine is a potential problem and that it could exacerbate or flare Hashimoto's. We've just seen that from all these population studies that have been done where it's been introduced to an entire population and they see spikes in Hashimoto's, and that's been observed all around the world. So iodine is a concern, but I'm not concerned with not nearly as big of a risk or a concern for you to take 200 micrograms of iodine. When we're really starting to look at it as a potential problem is when people are dosing it much higher, and more importantly, when they're dosing it much higher in the absence of good antioxidants. See, this multivitamin also has 200 micrograms of selenium and numerous other antioxidants that we think have very good protective benefits and help to minimize any potential negative side effects that you might have from that small lower dose of 200 micrograms of iodine. So here's the thing: there's some people are very much against iodine. I'm not. I don't promote iodine. I think that at high doses it's a bad idea. And if you really want to be more, even more specific and try to better assess your need for iodine, then you would want to do what I like is a 24-hour urinary collection for iodine. And that's done, most traditional laboratories will do it, like LabCorp or Quest Labs. So you can actually get an idea of your iodine status and whether or not you need it. But I will tell you that for most people, I use the Complete Multivitamin by Designs for Health with a very, very low dose of iodine, but it has a lot of other antioxidants, including 200 micrograms of selenium and numerous B vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, K, lots of things. Fills in a lot of your vitamin and mineral needs. It's probably the best place to start when you're trying to figure out, like, okay, what do I do from a supplement perspective? People will take a lot of individual nutrients, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, really, if you're going to try and utilize supplementation that helps you, that does the greatest good with the least amount of pills, let's put it that way, right? So then you want to use something like this, like the Designs for Health multivitamin. I think it's a very, very good approach, and it helps you to address and meet a lot of your specific needs. Now, beyond a multivitamin, you really need to look at considering your vitamin D status. Now, vitamin D, we know your body makes it when you're exposed to the sun, but it is, most people are deficient in vitamin D, and they just do not have adequate vitamin D levels. And that's a huge problem for people that are autoimmune, because vitamin D assists your body with immune regulation. And think about that for a second, immune system regulation. So if you don't have adequate vitamin D levels, then you will not, your immune system's not going to have a very good regulatory response. Because see, your body makes regulatory T cells. And if you don't have vitamin D, you're not going to make enough regulatory T cells to help manage and balance the immune response. So I just want to share that with you guys. I think, those are probably the two most important vitamins and minerals that I could recommend to you. I think if there was a third vitamin or mineral that I would suggest or recommend, I would consider, a high dose fish oil that has, high doses of EPA. Now, EPA, you hear about EPA and DHA, but EPA is going to be the one that is most anti-inflammatory. DHA we hear about as being better for brain health overall. But for most people that are autoimmune, they need to dampen the inflammatory response, and they need to take more EPA. And usually we'll dose it higher, and of course you're going to have to talk to your doctor and figure out what's best and right for you. But we'll dose it higher the first 2 weeks to a month, especially if someone has their diet hasn't been that good, it hasn't been diverse in plants and foods that have higher omega-3s. We will definitely supplement with a higher EPA level fish oil. And that's usually, around 1,200 milligrams or so. 1,250 is what we shoot for with the EPA levels. And so the fish oil plus the vitamin D plus the multivitamin tends to do a very good job at filling in nutrient potholes, helping to reestablish just normal immune system regulatory function, and also decreases inflammation and supports insulin sensitivity, as well as anti-inflammatory benefits from the fish oil. So there's a lot of good benefits there, guys. That's where I would suggest you consider starting if you're just looking at this. If you want to get access to all these supplements and vitamins, then definitely join us. You can join our transformation community and get 35% off of all these supplements plus free shipping over $50. You just go to hashimotosdoctor.com/TCS. So it's hashimotosdoctor.com/TCS. You can join our community. You get access to the latest information and programs that you can follow that are diet, lifestyle, and supplemental based for supporting Hashimoto's, and as well as be part of the transformation community, where you get to interact with a lot of people that are doing the same thing, a small intimate community that have the same goals of getting as healthy as possible. And we're really, trying to help people change their life and change the world. So you can get access to all this stuff. You can save us a ton of money, guys, actually with our program, because you get 35% off of all these supplements. So anyway, hope this helps you guys out. I appreciate you spending your time with me today, and I really look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out behind the scenes with Dr. Shook. You can also talk with and learn from Dr. Shook through Facebook Live on our Facebook page at the Office of Dr. Brad Shook. Don't forget, you can also get access to our videos, guidebooks, and thyroid programs at www.drbradshuk.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget one more thing. We can change the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. Until next time, remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are and what you can be.